Checklist.io.
Hey.
That was a joy. Was that like Justin Bieber or
Yeah,
who is that singer?
it's Bustin Lieber, I think. Bustin Jeeber. It's the discount version. But close enough.
Yeah, I mean you gotta work with the royalty free YouTube playlist. It doesn't give you many options, so
That's
not
my
well not good enough.
that's my life struggle is dealing with YouTube and copyright claims of 10-second songs. That takes up more time in my life than I would like to admit, unfortunately.
Yeah, that sucks whenever we get copyright claimed. Like I think when this channel has been insane. We've been getting claimed for like at least half the time. At
At
least.
least. At least. Yeah. And it's like the other day I had a copyright claim of a video I haven't even uploaded yet. It was like unlisted and it got claimed, and it was like literally a TikTok, the background of the TikTok, the song, out of a 20-minute video, and the TikTok was like 10 seconds. I'm like, can we get a better system, please, already? Like, I'm sick of having to like dispute everything at all times. Like, yes, I wasn't just replaying the song to, I don't know, like what, it's so weird.
Yeah, and sometimes they stake as like I don't know if people know how it works behind the scenes, but like you can dispute it, or you can trim out that segment, or there's a few options, sometimes
Yeah.
fewer than other times. But they give you the option to dispute it, but then you dispute it and it kind of goes into the void, and it stays in something called escrow forever. So it's like, oh, okay, we might never get it back. I think this happened with that. Oh gosh, who is it? Like I think it's really famous, but I forget her name. The one who's Kelly something, Kelly,
Oh,
like a
Kelly
TV presenter.
Clarkson.
Kelly
Or
Clark.
no,
I was
Kelly
gonna say
Ripa.
that.
Kelly Ripa.
I was gonna say Clarkson, but I was like, no, no, that's not right.
We're on the same brain length. Brain wave.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened. It's just then it stayed. Oh, and Oprah, I think too, at one point
I have
claimed us.
so many. I have Glenn and Doyle I have on escrow. Jen Hatmaker's in escrow. I think someone else on Kia's World is like in escrow. Like, I'm just hoping that it gets solved, but you're just fingers crossed and you hope. That's, it's frustrating, but you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So
So
anyways,
you just make no money from that until
just yeah.
hopefully the escrow is released sometime in the future. Yeah, that sucks. That
Yeah.
sucks.
Oh well.
But it's our life, so
Here we are choosing to do it anyways. Only people
we
to
do.
blame are us.
We do also love it. So
Yes.
it's got its pros and cons, as with
Pros and
everything.
cons. Yes.
Um,
Agreed.
how are, how is everyone doing? Hello, Mai. Hello, Laura.
Welcome.
Hello, Okoala. AD28. Hello.
Welcome.
Rachel, Tiffany, Miga. Miga makes me think of amiga in Spanish.
Amiga. I think of Miga, who's like a musician, I think. Miga? Like a rapper? I don't know. I'm not
I
into
think
the hip
the
stuff.
rapper who's in our chat right now.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, hello. Let's
Welcome.
let's do some improv rap.
No.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that from us.
Do it with the British accent.
I wish I could do a British accent, but I've been living in Britain for like 8 years now, and well, -1, but still can't do any sort of accent.
Really? Okay. I
No.
could try. Alright, here's my best Prince Harry accent. Hello, I'm Prince Harry.
Nice.
I love Meghan. She ain't so bad. She ain't so bad. Megan's a good lad. I mean, lass.
Oh God. Yeah, she's a good lass. I would say yes. And
Approved.
talking about Megan being a good lass, did she deserve what happened? Okay, so do people know what this is? Because I feel like it's been everywhere. Like at least on my end, and that might be because I am technically still registered as living in England, even though I'm in Romania at the moment. But my phone still sends me the British news. So I've been seeing this just everywhere. Do you guys know what happened?
No.
Do you know what's in the thumbnail? Do you recognize that white man?
Okay, there's been a debate in the household because I'm in New York now with Steven's family, and I showed them the thumbnail and I said, "Do you know who this guy is?" And all the men in the house said, "Yeah, obviously." And then the women in the house were like, "I've never seen that man in my life." And I was like, "See? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Sorry, I do not know who that guy is." I'm like, "Is it a
that
British?"
makes complete sense.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. And I think, most of the people in our audience are women, so nobody would
Perfect.
know. Um, but the reason why men know who that guy is because he is very famous for a show called Top Gear, where they were testing different cars.
Okay.
And mm, socially, most men just love cars or something. I don't know.
This
And
guy.
basically, this guy. So he's very famous, actually. It's a big deal, like as a celebrity.
Mm.
Um, but yeah. So should we start this? Like, basically, this guy, Jeremy Clarkson, who is um, who is a man. Let's call him a zillennial. No, no. Is
Let's
he?
call him an older man.
let's let's not. Is he a boomer? Maybe he's a boomer. I would
I
say.
would think so. My dad looks like him, so I would say boomer, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a boomer. Definitely not Zillennial. That feels way too close to my generation. I don't feel comfortable. So he is a famous guy in Britain and in the world, if you're a man. And he also writes columns for a couple of tabloids. One of them is called The Sun. Very tabloidy, very, Daily Mail, very Mirror, tabloids.
Yeah, like the National Enquirer of Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, he wrote an article about Meghan Markle in which he called her the most disgusting and vile things. And it's so awful that I couldn't, like, not talk about it. In fact, we
Yeah.
had a different plan for today's video, but I was like, no, this I just we can't let this slide. Like, this is so bad and so awful. And the entire thing, he said that all the people his age feel that way. So,
Of
you
course.
know, he
Yeah.
he surveyed everyone of his age and has decided that they all feel the same way.
He's like,
And he was a hero for coming out with this information.
has he not met Piers Morgan? Piers Morgan did all of this work for him many months ago as the person who hates Meghan Markle the most.
Well, it turns out that Jerry Clarkson cannot sleep at night and hates her on a cellular level. Like, what
Uh,
the hell? Like, I swear to God, I haven't seen the article because they took it off, but obviously people have pulled out the segments from it
yeah.
that were so bad, and they are awful. There's a link in Trello, the first link. Basically, I think we should watch that. It's a news report from Channel 4 in which they're talking about this, and I
Yes.
thought they
Okay.
brought up some interesting points.
Yeah, basically, the one thing that I thought in the quote was that he's like, she needs to be naked, paraded around the streets, and be like thrown excrement on. I don't know. It just seems like,
Yes, that Game of Thrones reference with, Cersei walking through the crowd naked and people were throwing things at her.
yeah.
That he basically said that's what should happen to Meghan Markle.
And he compared her to
Literally,
like a serial killer or something too. Like there were so many things that
yeah, it's very bad. It's
crossed the
very,
line.
very bad. And also hates Nicola Sturgeon, my prime minister forever. because Nicola
Interesting.
Sturgeon is the Prime Minister of Scotland,
Oh.
and she's an amazing woman, and she's just I couldn't believe what he said, but he said that he doesn't hate Meghan Markle as much as he hates, in the same way that he hates Nicola Sturgeon or the serial killer. He hates her more, like on a cellular level.
I don't get it, and I have no references. I've like purposely avoided Meghan Markle content just because I don't know. I don't care. And so anytime anyone talks about it, I'm like, I don't care. I just like zone out. But why do men specifically hate her so viciously? I don't get it. What has she done?
Yeah, that is an interesting question, and I think some of that would have to do with the fact that she's a beautiful woman that would never go out
American.
with them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very true.
and I think I don't know if it's my place to say, but I think at least for Piers Morgan, it feels like some of that is the reason why he hates her.
Jealousy.
Um, I think so, though.
I think so.
You know,
And because I remember when Piers Morgan was talking about her, and he's like, "Well, we were friends. We were friends. She called me all the time." And I was like, "If you really hated someone, would the first thing you say about them be like, but we were friends though?" Like you're trying to also align with her while also saying like she's an asshole. It's like, okay, it's weird.
yeah, he switched. We'll get to Piers Morgan later on because I
Okay.
have a whole timeline that we
Oh,
can
I'm
look
ready.
at. Because he switched, though it took him a couple of years, but he switched from being like, "Oh my God, like Meghan
Love
Markle,
her.
everything," like to posting like an article about her, calling her all sorts of things.
Oh
So
God. Okay.
but let's start with Jeremy Clarkson.
Okay.
This man, this
One
boomer,
British fellow.
disgustingly ugly man, if I may say so myself. And
He
I feel very entitled to
to your
share his
opinion.
opinion. And I would also say everyone my age feels that way.
Everyone, Camellia and my age, has said this to us at every social engagement we've ever been to. So it must be true. Jeremy Clarkson, he definitely is
Very ugly.
the worst, says everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, let's play.
I've surveyed all of the people my age.
Survey says Jeremy Clarkson's the worst.
Oh, there's no sound.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. No sound, you say? That's not good. Hold on. Really? Let's see.
Still no sound.
Oh my God. Hold on, everybody. Sorry. Okay. I swear to go. Of course, tests are useless. Okay, does this one work?
No.
Okay, sorry. Let me troubleshoot this. Oh, it's probably because I have it on my headphones. That's why. Okay. Stand by. Going back. I'm on a laptop today. I don't have this with the desk.
Oh yeah, it's working now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we're both in the midst of... This is our mobile studio.
He's built a career on pushing boundaries, but this time he's gone too far for even himself. Today, The Sun said Jeremy Clarkson had asked them to take down his column about Meghan Markle. That didn't stop it this afternoon, becoming the press regulator Ipso's most complained about article in history. I hate her, he said. Not like I hate Nicola Sturgeon, the Scottish First Minister, or the serial killer Rose West. But, he said, on a cellular level. He added, at night I am unable to sleep as I lie there, grinding my teeth and dreaming of the day when she's made to parade naked through the streets of every town in Britain, while the crowds chant shame and throw lumps of excrement at her. He was drawing from an episode of the Game of Thrones. The actor here played by a body double because her request to do it partly clothed was rejected by producers. The scene itself was criticised for being a violent, misogynistic fantasy.
His actions epitomize how the abuse of and violence against women in Britain has been normalized. It means that if you can have Meghan Markle, a member of one of the oldest and most powerful families in Britain, be dehumanized and abused with impunity, it sends a visceral message to the rest of us women that we are not safe, particularly ethnic minority women.
Clarkson's column came after the last 3 episodes of Harry and Meghan's Netflix documentary were released. In it, the Duchess of Sussex said tabloid attacks had led to online death threats.
Meghan just needs to die. Someone needs to kill her. Maybe it should be me. And he's just like, okay. That's like what's actually out in the world because of people creating hate.
This morning, more than 40 MPs from different parties wrote this letter to the editor of The Sun, asking her to retract the article and to sanction Jeremy Clarkson. They say, we're deeply concerned about the role modelling being promoted to young men and boys, that it's okay to use violent language to address a woman you might disagree with. And then this afternoon, John Nicholson from the SNP, who also sits on the Select Committee for Culture, Media and Sport, wrote to ITV and Amazon asking them to take Jeremy Clarkson off screen. Yesterday, he tweeted to say he'd put his foot in it, that his clumsy reference to Game of Thrones...
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that is an unfortunate looking man. I'll just that's not a good photo, at least. Holy hell.
That's just how all British men look, I think.
He got caught in the wrong angle on that one. I'm sorry. Woof. That's rough. He didn't look so bad in the other one.
I don't know if is there a right angle for him, because he,
straight on is a little bit. Ooh.
Old white man.
Yeah.
With bad teeth.
Yeah. Yikes. I also.
But I wanted to.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on.
I was gonna say it's like such a British tweet. Oh dear, I'd rather put my foot in my mouth or my foot in it. It's a way to like address a major controversy. So
yeah,
funny.
no, but also makes it sound so like, it's kind of condescending. It's like, oh dear, you guys are upset. Oh well, like.
Oh dear. It's like you hit the wrong button and you like nuked a whole country. You're like, oh dear. Oopsies.
Yeah, exactly. But I also wanted to say, like, in terms of this article, it's just the one thing that shocked me the most is, well, that it existed in the first place, because there's so many like levels to this. Like, first of all, Meghan is part of the royal family, even though she left. She's married to the Prince of England. So this would have never happened if it was about Kate, if it was about the Queen, if it was about Harry, if it was about the other William, if it was even about Andrew, who is so
problematic.
To say the least.
Yes.
This would have never come out. Like, there is just, like, it was so mean and awful and vile that it would have never come out had it been about anyone else but Meghan in the family. And she's still a part of the royal family. It's so disrespectful beyond belief. And but then the second layer to this is like, who read and approved this? Because I worked in TV, and it don't just like publish, and don't just like type things and then just hit publish and it goes on the website of the company or something. No, you have to like kind of send it in, it's gonna be read by your superiors, whatever, and then so there's a whole host of reasons, and I just don't understand how this actually came to exist in the first place. Like, that is what is most shocking to me.
I feel like because it's an opinion piece, like because it's part of that world, they have a much more hands-off approach to all of the, ethical stuff, because it's not like the views of the paper, it's penned under his opinion. So maybe they feel like, I don't know, like, oh well, if he says something we don't agree with, who cares? But because like compared to like a piece where it's supposed to be done by a journalist, this is just one dude's thoughts, maybe. I don't know. And I feel like the from what I hear, is that the British press, like the paparazzi in England and Britain, I don't know what the difference is, I'm sorry. They're ruthless. Like, that's always what I've heard. So maybe to me it's like, oh, this is just another day in that industry. But maybe not. Maybe it's worse.
Yes, no, I agree. But it's still shocking to me because she's still part of the royal family, and I cannot believe that somebody would be like, "Yeah, you know what? Let's publish a vile piece." Imagine this guy, Jeremy Clarkson, writing a piece like that about Kate Middleton. Like, that would never get approved. Like, it would just not. It would just be. He would be fired before even like anything would happen. You know what I mean? Like, he would
Yeah.
not even get anywhere close to that.
But don't they hate her too, or don't they hate everyone in the royal family, or do they love some but just hate Meghan?
Well, that's like the part of the documentary which I haven't finished watching. By the way, I've only watched episode 1, but
I
that's
didn't
the
watch any of
part
it.
that we have basically sort of tried to argue towards, that it's not quite as simple as, oh, the media is like being mean to us or whatever. The stories are being fed to the media from the royal family itself. Like, I don't think from the actual members of the royal family, but from the institution, from the whatever, I don't know what they call it, the agency or something. I don't remember what they call it. But I think
So
the
bizarre.
institution is the word for it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think and that makes sense, because this would have never come to be if it was like the regular state of affairs where Meghan was still here, or well, not here, like in Britain, and like even if they were going to be fed stories, they wouldn't have been allowed to do this. Like, because she would have still been part of the royal family, like, per se. And now that she's gone, we don't care about her, so it's like whatever.
Yeah. Well, they hated Diana too. That was a big thing. And she wasn't American. She just wasn't from royalty, so she was a lesser choice for Charles, right? So they were allowed to hate her in the press.
Yeah, I sort of don't know enough about that story with Diana, to be honest. Like, I know some of it, I just don't have all the details. I think what happened is that they started to hate her after she left the royal family as well. But not the public. Like, the public loved her.
Loved her. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
And then maybe that also makes the hate just from the tabloids and the people that do hate them even worse, because it's not landing with the public what their opinions are.
Interesting. Okay. Mai says, Kia, sometimes the mic sounds loud on certain words. I'm gonna put it back over here. Let me know if this distance is okay, because I had it like moving it around, and I think moving the mic might be more harmful than helpful. So let me know, Mai, if that's better. And also, Mai also says, also happy holidays. Thanks, Mai.
Thanks, Mai. That's so sweet.
You're helping us so much. We appreciate you. Also, happy holidays! Woo!
Yes, happy holidays, everyone. And hi, Z. I agree with you. The only royal more disliked than Meghan is Andrew. Yes,
Barely.
and that they would never publish something like this about Andrew, though. I just don't think that the publications would approve it. Because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that people would be willing to write that. It's just that
Sure.
they wouldn't hit publish because Andrew is still in the royal family.
It's very interesting. I need to get more educated, and maybe this is the inspiration that I needed, because I downloaded for the plane last night the Meghan and Harry documentary. I literally put it on for 30 seconds and was passed out on the plane. So not that it was boring in the 30 seconds, but I just was so tired I didn't watch it. But I just, like I said, I don't pay attention. I've heard people call her a narcissist, like Meghan. People call her bratty, annoying, attention seeking. Okay, but that is all fine and dandy. Like, but why should she have to walk through the streets to pay for that? Like, there's no crime being committed here. That's why I'm like, I'm trying to understand like the crux of why her character is so horrible to these people.
Are you trying to understand racism?
But she's like not even. She's like like I don't know. I guess yeah. It's like saying like, you know, she's
they
not
hate
even.
her because she's not a white royalty.
Yeah, I guess I find that I do live in a bubble. I'm like a bubble in the sense of like, you're gonna make it that obvious that that's the only thing. Like I'm trying to see like, okay, maybe there's some sort of personality flaw that I'm missing. But I guess is it just simple, basic, old school racism? That's what you think? That's what you think?
Oh, I don't think it's basic and I don't think it's simple, but yeah. Good old
Run of the mill
yeah,
racism.
I think it's very I think I don't know. I don't want to trash my own residents, if you will, because Britain is my resident country. But at the same time, I feel like there is a certain level of respect to old money and just the kind of reverence to the past, royalty, you know, the monarchy. That's probably the only reason why the monarchy is still a thing. And I just feel like people in Britain they're not quick to innovate or to change their beliefs to kind of stay with, at least in my opinion. I don't know if I'm right about this.
I don't know. I have no idea. This is also a little British, like everyone's saying, little British for me. So I'm trying to like, as an American person who doesn't have the tradition of like royal blood. I mean, at a base level, royal blood to me sounds like a horrible thing to prop up in any modern society. But I'm trying to be more respectful of my point of view on that because I feel like it comes off as like super mean, where I'm like, I don't respect your traditions. But I just feel like the fact that this is held up to any sort of high regard because why they were born in a certain lineage, I don't know. The whole premise of all of this, like, why do you care, dude? Like, I don't know. Why does anyone care what this family does?
Britain is also very classist. Like everything, like every single conversation we ever had when I was living in Scotland, like not so much now, to be honest, but that may be because we're busy with exams and college in general. But when I was living in Scotland and I was hanging out with like just maybe like 90% Scottish/English people, and aside from the girlfriends of the men in that group, who tended to be me, Romanian, two of them were French, one of them was Chinese, but you know, every conversation seemed to revolve around being working class, being middle class, the class war, like everything. And at one point I started to get really kind of bored with that because, you know, potentially ADHD here. But I was like, also just after, you know, a year or two of that conversation, I was like, okay, we don't need to keep talking about this. And they do keep talking. They do keep talking. Oh my god, I've lost my mind. Sorry. They keep talking about it, and it's like entrenched in like British culture to talk about class, and it's everything from like accents to where you go to school. Every time you meet a British person, they ask you where you go to school. And they like, if you say something like, you know, if I would say, oh, I'm doing a master's degree in let's pretend, let's do a hypothetical where I actually sound British, and they would be confused and they would think that maybe I'm British. And if I was to tell them I'm doing this master's degree, they would ask me about where I went to high school, because that will tell them if I'm working class or not. Like everyone wants to know where you went to school for some reason.
And they won't mix with you if you're lower than them, because they always want to move up the ranks as opposed to down, or they'll stay in the same. Is the idea?
I mean, I guess that depends on just how trash they are at heart. But I like, our group was quite mixed, so I would say it wasn't so much of an issue. Maybe that's why the conversations were always like a topic, because there were members of both, no aristocrats for us, but both working class and middle class. So I thought they were quite okay in that sense, but I don't know if everyone is, because like, and also just still to this day, even if they were not judgmental of your class, I just still didn't understand, like, why do they keep asking everyone, like, why is that the first question everyone asks? And it's just, it's complicated, because that's the sort of thing that makes people not get jobs. Like TV is for example, an industry that is very widely populated by middle class white men usually. And if you are not middle class, and if you come and you have an interview but your accent is like very lower class Scottish it's gonna be 90% no. So it's complicated.
Yeah, I feel like we forget those things, or don't discuss them enough, perhaps, because it definitely, there are judgments all around, and there's discriminatory practices in place, like laws, at least in America, against discriminating for those reasons, but there's definitely ways around it to keep the traditions going, just with different wording. Because maybe back in the day it would be like, oh no, well, low class can't mix. It's like, think of the Titanic, like third class goes into the boiler room, okay, the middle class goes here, and the first class dining hall, like they had it separated like that. Now that still exists, it's just ticket prices naturally will filter out who can afford what, and you still have very defined areas without putting the overt restrictions on things. But yeah, I think it's like, we talk about institutionalized racism or institutionalized classism, and in reality it's more of like, on a social level is how we're seeing it every day and dealing with it every day. And I don't think we talk about that as much as a society. Like, why is this guy at the pub asking me where I went to school? Every time I go there, every guy, or every person. Why is that such a thing that we are doing as fellow, regular people?
Yeah, and that's what brings me back to that idea, because like, if this is happening to regular people on a day-to-day basis, and everyone is sort of trained in that way, just like, oh, let's assess, is this person posh or not, like, let's assess how much money do they actually have, by asking them where they're from, and by just trying to like guess their accent and so on.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if that's the society from like from top to bottom? Like, can you imagine bringing a person that is not royalty, that is of black descent, in the royal family? Like, it's just it's like a slap to the face.
Yeah.
Everyone.
I
think that's the reason too, in my opinion.
I have a personal story about this one time, and it's not a royalty story, but it's like a trying to figure out my class story. And I was visiting my friend in Washington, D.C. We were both in college still. I was visiting him at his dorm. And, we went to high school together, and he had all these new friends. So, I'm meeting his new friends for the first time. I'm super nervous. I'm like, hi, everybody. Like, nice to meet you. I don't know anyone there. And this guy goes, I love your jean jacket. Where'd you get it? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I looked at I got it at Kohl's or something. And I looked at the label. I'm like, oh, it's like mud. I think I got it at Kohl's. That guy never spoke to me again the rest of the time I was there. I think if it was like Christian Dior or some other brand that was like worthy of his time, he might have, because he was very warm and friendly. But as soon as he asked me, that was the first question that he said, hi, nice to meet you. Oh my God, I love your jacket. Where's it from? Never spoke to me again. I think that was his way of like, I'm not going to waste my time on a poor girl. And he moved on, and we never interacted again. And I was like, damn. And I that sticks with me, because I'm like, how many people are looking at me and I'm thinking like, oh, I'm just socially awkward, I'm so like unapproachable, and they're just looking at my outfit and going, poor.
Yeah. And I think this is the same conversation.
Yeah.
The same exact thing, like someone trying to assess, do you have money or not?
Mm-hmm.
And it just speaks to how little regard we have for like actual like character, and just, is this a good person, is this a decent person, like
Yeah.
there's things that we have in our control that we can actually change. Like, I can change how much I work, or I can change, just
Sure.
there's things that I can be a better person. I can try to be a nicer, kinder, more well-rounded person. I haven't yet, but don't worry, you guys. 2023 is the year. Okay?
Yeah.
Just keep hanging on there. It's gotta happen. But I can try to change those things. And, if I change those things, that is a personal sort of victory, because you're
Yeah.
actually changing things that you have in your control. But you cannot really control if you're born poor or not. Like
Yeah.
you come into this world whatever way you come into
Or
this world.
born a certain race. That's why it's so ridiculous. It's like, why are we gonna judge her for being mixed at this? Like, she didn't choose her parents. Like, none of us did. Why do we keep perpetuating that as if that's something that we should be allowed to hate someone for or love someone for? I don't know. It's so silly at this point, but we still are here. We still have the same conversations. It's frustrating.
But I think that I don't know, at least in the way that I see things from where I stand, I think that America does a better job of this. I think you guys are a lot more inclusive. You guys are a lot more like, there's like this, even with, we've talked a lot about the hustle culture and all that stuff and how we disagree with it, but there is a certain like reverence towards like new money, like people who have made it, people who tried really hard and did all they could and they made it,
Rags to riches.
The rags to riches. And as much as I hate that, it's still better than oh, we are only gonna revere aristocrats who just went and
My
captured
nan.
off of slavery. So,
Yeah. My nan was the Duchess of Cambridge. Oh, someone's ringing the doorbell, but I can't get up. I don't know what to do. Sorry.
good luck, person.
Sorry. Oh, wait. Good. Okay, you're good. Okay, let's keep watching this, actually. Perfect timing.
Thrones had gone down badly and that he was horrified to have caused so much hurt.
To be quite frank, I want to see Jeremy Clarkson come out with an actual apology, not a mealy-mouthed, he understands he's caused hurt. There hasn't been any use of the word sorry. I think there should be an apology from the Sun to Meghan Markle, but also a reassurance that this isn't going to happen again.
When asked did they keep Clarkson on as Who Wants to Be a Millionaire host, ITV said, at the moment, we are. His article, they said, didn't represent their values. The Sun newspaper didn't comment as questions around its editorial judgment swirled. They're employing perhaps that old royal adage, never explain.
And this is it. This
Or
is
just
right
before we came on
here.
air, I spoke to
Sorry.
It's the issue. ITV's like, oh yeah, no, he's gonna continue to be the host. Don't worry. Like, it's all good. I mean, we don't stand by that shit. Don't worry. But like, yeah, we're not gonna fire him.
Yeah, what he said was horrible, but he's a damn good host.
I mean, the numbers are gonna get better.
Yeah, true.
And there's, that, and the Sun did not even bother to reply. But there was a news article that I read about, basically, I didn't quite understand. Someone, Murdoch, I forget who
Rupert?
this is. Rupert Murdoch, maybe. Basically, there was a visit that was meant to happen, or like a dinner or something, and they pulled out because of this. So, but like that's not like wow, the
Not
council.
the dinner! Oh, God. They had lunch instead. Ah!
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we're gonna talk about lunches later as well, but let's keep playing because she brings some really good points in this.
Okay.
to Emma Dabbery, broadcaster and author of the book Don't Touch My Hair, and to Eleanor Mills, the former editorial director of the Sunday Times. I began by asking Eleanor if Jeremy Clarkson should be sacked.
Well, it wouldn't have been within my role to sack him, but I would not have let that column go into the newspaper. I work for the Sunday Times, I should say, not the Sun, as it was.
And so the fact that it did go into the Sun, what does that say about the paper's attitude to race and to women?
I would hope that it slipped through because maybe somebody wasn't as on it as they should have been, it being the run-up to Christmas. If it was actually passed by the senior executives, I think that's quite worrying because it shows that they really are stoking up a culture war. I find it really shocking that any mainstream broadsheet in the that any mainstream newspaper in the UK would say it was okay for a woman to be pelted with excrement and for her to have shame shouted at her naked in the street. I don't think that that's okay. So as an editor myself, I would have taken that out. And over the years with Jeremy Clarkson, I have done exactly that. He's filed me columns which I've thought went beyond what was acceptable, and I've taken it out, and I've said to him and explained to him why I was taking it out. And in fact, we used to see it as our job to save him from himself.
Right. Emma
Can we
Dabiri,
pause
should
here?
Jeremy Clarkson be sacked?
Yes.
Because what she said there is so, like, insane to me. Like, we're keeping him from being himself by redacting some of the stuff that he writes. We're gonna say, no, Jeremy, this is racist, so we're gonna take this out or whatever. Yeah, it's like, why are you giving this guy a column? Like,
because it gets people to
sorry.
read it because it's controversial, and that's what they need in a paper, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's very like, oh no, we know he is fucked up. Like, we are very well aware. We're still gonna hire him though. Like,
yeah.
Like, you see what I mean? Like, the difference in culture, because like the minute something happens like this in the US, immediately lynched, immediately cancelled. Like, over here we're like, well, not really a problem for us. Like,
yeah. I mean, even in the United States, like, usually they might get booted from like a mainstream place, but then they go right to like a right wing or I mean, usually it's right wing when they get canceled, you know, in that kind of sphere, but they go to like the people who support them, the type of, you know, publication that is catered to that audience. In Britain, do they have those things? Do they have like a Fox News equivalent? Do they have like a more extremist? Like,
this is it.
That is, okay. So
they're the Sunday Times. Well, I don't know if the Sunday Times, but like, you know, there's loads. There's the Daily Mail. There's the Sun. I don't know. I don't really read.
So that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not even gonna say anything. Okay. Let's keep watching.
Yes, I think he should be, but it seems that when he is sacked, he just moves from one plum position to another. And I think the fact that he's historically essentially gotten away with so many kind of similar moments to this one, I think that demonstrates as well that, you know, we talk about cancel culture, and I think cancel culture does exist, but I think it's people who are relatively powerless who tend to come a cropper via cancel culture.
Eleanor Mills, Jeremy Clarkson has a loyal fan base. He has lots of people who read his column and watch his shows. Would any organisation be loath to let go of him as a result?
Well, here today, I saw quite a lot of reports about whether ITV will keep him on doing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, whether Amazon might think twice about the Grand Tour and his Clarkson's Farm. I would have thought that they might come under quite a lot of pressure from advertisers.
Well, they've just said they're keeping him on, so what does that say about the broadcaster's attitude and the industry's attitude towards him? Or is it just simply that he pulls in a lot of viewers?
Well, he's got, nearly 8 million Twitter followers. He has a very loyal following. I mean, Amazon, to a large extent, built a lot of their streaming on buying him in on Top Gear. So maybe the calculation is that he brings in more people than he alienates. I hope, though, that this is a watershed moment.
She's like, we've done it. We've done the calculation.
Thinking about...
She's like, yeah, I think that, you know, maybe he'll get taken off. He's not. Oh, well, okay.
She's like, think about this, and we calculated that he brings in more people than he alienates. So, yeah, we're going to keep, you know, doing this. It's fine.
It's all business. This is all business decisions. If it was moral compass, like the world would look a lot different. But you know, if you're controversial, you bring in money, they're gonna keep, doing it. It's a way of the world. I don't know how to fix it. It can't. So it's like, as an individual, you have to choose kind of to like just not support it, I guess. But this is always the way that the world's gonna be, as long as we're in this, competition for money society. This will never stop.
It's interesting though, because I feel like if you expect the controversial thing to happen, it's not that controversial anymore. So it's kind of like he needs to be treading a very thin, fine line in which, he's only controversial sometimes. Or, and I think he's probably doing the right thing this far, because he said, like, and we have a list of this, we're going to look at it after. We have a list of the awful things that he said, but he seems to be doing himself like a favor every time. Like, he just gets more followers, and it's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's like the Andrew Tate effect. Like, he said the most stupid shit and grew an audience on, detractors who are against him but giving him attention, and people who may or may not align but just like to see people squirm about stuff. So they were like, oh yeah, I love him. And it boosted him into this like popularity for just saying the most outrageous stuff that he doesn't even necessarily believe in. It's a marketing ploy that works in this world where clicks get you cash at a certain point. A funnel of, you just need to get people's eyeballs on you and people talking about you and saying, look at all the news coverage. This guy, I never saw this guy in my life. Obviously he's got a career that, is large and has all this, has money and has fame without me knowing who he is. But now I'm talking about him and learning about him because of this controversy. So it really worked in a way to get him to be more known on the world stage.
Yeah. And I wonder where's the line with that? Like, where do we just decide, when it's too far? And I feel like he seems to be getting no repercussions for this. It's just really annoying me, because like, you shouldn't be allowed to post this kind of, like, there's a difference between saying, controversial right-wing things, like, as a general thing, like, as much as it's awful, let's say that what he said was like directly misogynistic to women, all women or something. Yeah. Like, this is not even just that. This is directed at a person. Like, he's literally attacked a person who is part of the royal family, whether he likes it or not. I don't know. It's just very, like, it feels very far to me.
For me, I think this is where you and I kind of like just divide a little bit. And I feel like I don't think it should have been published in the Sun necessarily, because that gives it some sort of credibility. And I sort of have a disagreement with that. But I have no problem with this guy saying what he said. I just think that the public outrage also needs to be clear. And I think it is. I know that this guy's a complete moron, or I don't know if he's stupid, but he's mean and he's ruthless and he would want these things to happen to a woman. That's horrible. I will never support him again. And in a way, I'm glad that I know his thoughts, because if he kept it neutral publicly but then personally had all these horrible things to say, I would never know. So in a way, it's like, I'm glad to have the knowledge to now use my money to not support him. But then it becomes, okay, so what's the punishment? And that's the part where I'm like, I don't know. Because,
and that's the thing that I feel like you now know that you don't want to support him. But all of these publications are like, no, we're gonna keep hiring him.
And that's the disappointing part. Yeah.
He publishes an article a week. So it's, like a full-time job.
Who he hates today. Who he hates this week. That's our channel, though, basically.
And well, yeah, but like, at least we have reasons. We're not just like, oh my god, I hate Kathy Heller on a cellular level. I want to see her script. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ, I would never say anything like that. Like, I don't know. It's very it's very targeted. It's very like emotional. Might I say that about a man? Like they are emotional beings.
Someone said that we don't think men are emotional because we've decided that anger is no longer a worthy emotion. Because otherwise, they would be the most emotional gender ever, compared. So it's funny. It's more of a reflection on how we view anger as like something that's not an emotional thing. And I thought that was an interesting take on that. Like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, because it couldn't possibly be that whatever men display could be deemed as emotional. It's only emotional when it's displayed by a woman, and then
Yeah, because people think emotional is sad or reactionarily upset.
I think anger too, but if it comes from a woman,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like if it comes from a man, it's just
Leadership.
It's just what it's supposed to be, really. Like
stern leadership. If it's a woman, it's like unhinged bitch. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a situation recently where somebody screamed at me very angrily and aggressively in front of a lot of people. And I still ended up apologizing officially and giving up on playing music in that room. So
was it a woman or a man, or does it matter?
I was a man, of course.
Oh my god. I feel like I react, or maybe I should try this again. Before I went to therapy, I would immediately cry just because I would like not know how to handle it at all. But now I feel like I would like a situation where I can like defend myself and yell back, just to try it again. Now see if my trauma therapy has helped or not. Put it to the test.
Try it, but you're gonna be shocked to the core of what you're gonna find out.
Yeah, I just instantly shut down and go.
I think what's gonna happen is that everyone will be like, "Oh my god, you're such an awful person," and everybody will forget that somebody screamed at you first.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe should we address this? I just want to talk about the comments because I just feel like it's unraveling out of control. I don't know what you're talking about, Chris. I'm sorry if I offended you. I don't know what I did, and I don't think I've ever made fun of poor people in my entire life, unless I was making fun of myself for being poor. So I don't know what to tell you. I think I made the wrong dialect of English, which sort of proves the point that we judge dialect of English speakers in a classist way. So I'm sorry if I've hurt your feelings, but I don't feel like I intentionally tried to. I don't know. I tried to do a British accent. That was the best I could do. Sorry. That's all I'll say about it.
Yeah. I don't think. Yeah. I don't think it was offensive. I think it was just what you deem to be an English accent. Yeah. I mean, I can't blame you because I can't do an English accent at all. So if I was to try, like, it would be.
I was trying to be posh, and it came off as, I don't know, Mary Poppins chimney sweep. Someone said, and I'm like, yeah, that's not what I intended to do, but that's what came out. So, if anyone's wondering, I mean, you can go back and watch it and tell me otherwise. But that was what I was intending to do. So, sorry, but I'm not like gonna be like, you're right, you caught me. This is my whole intention.
Also, I don't think you would know what is a working class British accent. Would you know that? Like, would you be able to recognize it? Because obviously you thought that's a generic.
I've studied the 12 dialects, and I chose the one that I knew was the lowest class purposely for this stream. I'm just kidding. I don't know. No, I don't. And I agree with RK Gold. When I live in Florida, you can't really make any arguments about classiness. We take classiness.
I don't know what that means, but it's funny anyway.
Florida does not take class very seriously. We're like the least classy of all the states, some may say. So, maybe it's just a Florida thing. Anyways, that's it. I'm not going to address it anymore, but I just want, in case people were like, oh my god, what's going on? Nothing happened, I don't think.
Okay, let's keep playing this.
And I don't have an accent right now. If you think this is me doing an accent, I am not, so I don't know what to do. Okay, back to someone with a real accent.
What is acceptable and what isn't. And I think the fact that Clarkson himself has asked The Sun to take the column down, I think that that has to count for something.
Emma Dabiri, do you think this is a watershed moment?
Sadly, I don't think it's a watershed moment. This disproportionate rage and vitriol that we are often met with, you know, where our behavior, if it was somebody of another identity group that did something, it would be perhaps praised or unremarked upon, or maybe there'd be kind of a slap on the wrist. But when it's a woman of African descent, there's often this disproportionate rage that we witness. And, you know, that dynamic is something that I have experienced my whole life, you know, kind of excessive punishment in comparison to your peers, very, very different treatment to your peers, from school to interpersonal relationships, to professional settings, to public spaces.
Eleanor Mills, has this column and the reaction to it and the fact that ITV, for example, are standing by him, has that actually reinforced Meghan's point that there is institutional racism within the British media?
Yes, I think absolutely. I think in that way, it's a massive own goal for Clarkson and for The Sun, because all it does is completely reinforce exactly what Harry and Meghan have been saying, that the British tabloids are racist, that it's full of misogyny. And as chair of Women in Journalism, we brought out a big piece of research which looked at representation within the British media. And we did it just after the death of George Floyd. Less than 1% of editors within the press are black or BAME. And even in the 2 weeks after George Floyd's death, there wasn't a single article written on the front page of a British newspaper by a black journalist.
Jeremy Clarkson said that everyone who's my age thinks the same way. Is the reaction to Meghan, the documentary, and the consumption of British media dividing along generational lines?
No, I think that's really rude to older people. I mean, I run a website now called Noon, which is all about gendered ageism and is about queenagers and women in midlife. And my community is absolutely horrified by what Clarkson said.
Emma?
And yeah, I'd like to say, I don't want this to be, obviously this is an extreme example, but I think, like, certainly why it provoked the response that it did from me is because I found it so recognizable in terms of being treated differently in this society than white men are, certainly, but also often than the ways in which white women are. And this is much bigger than just what the treatment of Meghan Markle, but it's actually about the pressure that is put upon marginal people from minoritized identities.
Emma Dabiri, Eleanor Mills, thank you both very much for joining us.
Yeah, I thought this is a good piece, kind of trying
Good
to
wrap-up.
basically explain the situation as best as they can. But yeah, so in terms of the real Jeremy Clarkson, should we show people a little bit, just because I know there's a lot of women in our audience and they don't know who he is and they don't know what Top Gear is, which, by the way, can I say, I'm just so proud of myself that I even knew. I used to watch Top Gear not really like watch, just like when I would come across it on social media or something, like I would watch, but I wouldn't like watch it on TV or something, you know?
Yeah.
But I was like, what, people don't know what Top Gear is? Like, Top Gear is like a big show. It was huge.
I only watch American Idol on repeat my whole life because I'm from America and that's our favorite show.
So there were, when I was watching this, there were 3 of them, and I don't remember their names, but he was one of them. And what they would do is like basically test different cars. Sometimes, like in this one, you see it's some very fancy cars, but sometimes they would take like unfancy cars or whatever, and they would just go on in certain locations and test the cars and like compare which one is doing better, etc. And at one point they did come to one of our very famous roads here in Romania. That is like a very windy road, and that's probably how I came across them.
Like, I've been on that road.
Yeah, pretty much everyone in Romania has been on that road at this point.
My least favorite part of like comedians in cars getting coffee with Jerry Seinfeld, that Netflix show, was about the cars. As soon as they were like, this is a blah 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 car, I'm like, I don't care at all. But that's just me personally.
I wouldn't even understand the thing. Sometimes these guys were funny though. Like, I don't know if you're gonna agree, but let's watch them.
I'm ready. I have a low expectation, but you never know.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Clarkson, and coming up now is an exclusive clip of my brand new DVD, which is called Powered Up.
Powered Up! Uh-oh.
This is the Paul Ricard test track, the most advanced testing facility in the world. It has a 5.8 kilometre track, including the 1.8 kilometre Mistral Straight. Welcome, everybody, to the Lamborghini Gallardo Performante. Oh, this is a fantastic car. But is it as fantastic, I wonder?
This is what we wanted.
Wow, this is a car. Cool.
Yeah, this is a good car. Okay, perfect. So this is the kind of the gist of it, except there was 3 of them when I was watching, and they would, have jokes and what. Anyway,
let's give this guy $1 million. This is a fast car.
Through this, TV show and other things and columns that he has published, he came up with number 3 on our list, which is the controversial things that he said. And oh my god, these are awful.
Oh wait, this one. No.
This one. No. Yes, this one.
The keep your mouth shut, Jeremy pose. Okay, yeah.
So you will see there is a list, a timeline. There you go.
Okay, let's see. Okay, and this is 7 years old, this article, so these are not the most updated ones. There may be more. This is gonna be so British. Okay, let's do the translation. A lorry driver, that's a taxi driver, right?
No, that's like a truck.
Oh, okay. While driving a truck, what matters to truck drivers? I'm just changing it for the Americans. What matters to truck drivers? Murdering prostitutes, fuel economy, he added. This is a hard job, driving a truck, and I'm not just saying this to win favor with truck drivers. Change gear, check your mirrors, murder a prostitute. Media watchdog of cleared Clarkson, ruling that the comments were justified by the context in which they were made.
Ofcom is like the what should I call it? It's like the umbrella of all TV and journalism. So they're like the authority, and Ofcom is like, yeah, this is good.
That's good. Fine. Was he talking about like a truck driver murder case or something? Is that the context?
No, this is just him insulting truck drivers for some reason. Okay.
Calls Gordon Brown a one-eyed idiot, comparing Gordon Brown, who I don't know, to Australian Prime Minister Kevin Rudd. It's the first time I've ever seen a world leader admit we really are in deep shit. He genuinely looks terrified, poor man. He's actually seen the books. We have this one-eyed Scottish idiot who keeps telling us everything's fine and he saved the world, and we know he's lying, but he's smooth at telling us. It's not that bad. I guess we have Trump in the United States. Trump was like making fun of disabled reporters. He was calling everyone fat and ugly, and Rosie O'Donnell's a man. Like, where's Trump's list? Like, this is like nothing in comparison. This is light.
Let's see if you think it's nothing to the next one.
Okay, fair enough. The first 2 are like, light offensive. Okay. TV obsessed with hiring black Muslim lesbians from 2009. Clarkson told Top Gear magazine, the problem is that television executives have got it into their heads that if one presenter on a show is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed, heterosexual boy, the other must be a black Muslim lesbian. Chalk and cheese, they reckon, works. Okay. But here we have Top Gear setting new records after 6 years using cheese and cheese. It confuses them. Yeah.
I don't know exactly when in 2009 which black Muslim lesbians he saw on television, because I don't think I
Yeah.
saw a black person on television until last year. So
Yeah, especially over there in England. Yeah.
I mean, I'm exaggerating, probably like not last year, but like it's not the whole diversity thing only appeared like in the last few years, that they realized, oh shit, we could like actually get more views if we had like some diverse people. So
This is a typical talking point in the news as well, almost on the other side, because from a local news perspective, if you're blonde and you're white woman, like a lot of people will tell you like you're not going to get a job. And so people then take that and go, oh, it's because I'm not diverse enough for people now. And I understand the frustration, but it's like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. It's hard to tell because it's become a thing where it's like, okay, if you don't speak Spanish, you can't work in a Florida market. That's what they say. Now, whether that's true or not, I have no idea. But because our country is becoming more diverse, and I'm sure England is becoming more diverse, TV executives want to match the places in which they are hiring people to be on TV. And so people who have traditionally been on TV, which is white men and white women who are blonde and traditional looking, they're feeling like they're losing their place or their chances. But that's show business. I don't know what you want. I don't know what, like, you don't have to be offended
there's been
about
some
it.
studies about this, and I feel like I came across one, but I only remember very vaguely what the findings were. But essentially the gist of it was that if you had like a room full of men, like let's say board meeting room, they studied that, and they had like people of color in the room, and the white men felt like there were more people of color than there were in
Yeah.
the room. Like, so if they see like one person, they suddenly feel like, oh, this is a diverse room, like, and they don't see it's just the one and we are 12.
Yeah.
They see there's more than one, like in their mind. This was
Yeah.
I don't remember where I came across this. I wish I did, because it would be interesting to pull this out. But like it's fascinating because, and I think this isn't to be like, oh, they're intentionally making up that there's people in the room that wasn't, like, people that weren't there or something. But I think it's just that there's a difference between having no people of color, no diversity in the room before, like for years and decades and centuries, to now having a person or something, and suddenly they feel like, oh, there's diversity everywhere.
It's overwhelming. Yeah. It's not even like, and maybe he was saying it as like I don't know, like he's trying to say like, oh, the networks want to be diverse, and that was his way to like make it be funnier, I guess, in his opinion. I don't know. I don't think it's a realistic problem, I guess. I mean, I will say, as someone who's dealt with media stuff, it is a conversation that comes up a lot, that if you're straight, white, and boring looking, you have less of a chance to get a job. Now, whether that's true, I don't actually think, but that is a talking point that a lot of people say, where it's like you need to be you either have to be racially or ethnically ambiguous, where the audience can't tell what you are, or you have to be something exciting because executives want to be perceived as a network that is diverse and modern. But then when you actually look at the results of that narrative, it's like it's a lot of the same still. Like most of the top anchors are white.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like people are under the impression that there's all these diversity schemes or something, there's like a lot of them when there isn't. Like I was on a diversity scheme, we were 6 people. So compared to the amount of people working in television in Scotland, 6 people is not a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's you can't be telling me like, oh yeah, we broke the industry there. Like,
and it matters how top you are. Like if you're the top anchor at a station, that's one thing, versus you're a teleprompter operator. Like, yeah, there's diversity, but is there diversity at the top levels, the executive level? And I think those are pretty much the same through the last 20 decades. I don't know, that's 20 years or so. That has remained probably white male dominated, I would imagine.
yeah, exactly. And all of us that were on that scheme that I was on, we were very much like entry level first job. Like I was a researcher.
Yeah.
So, like it's not, yeah. And I was a researcher, by the way, in this diversity scheme as like a development researcher. And they even kicked me out of the room one time. So, like that was fun. I'm glad they put me on a scheme so that the people working at that company were like, you don't need to be in this one. So
like, you're good. Go with the other people who are like you in the other room. I guess. I don't know.
Not to mention, and this is a completely different situation, but I think that these schemes, these companies were actually paid. They were getting government grants to be hiring these diverse people. So they weren't necessarily doing it out of their own, just they didn't have an initiative to be more diverse themselves. They were just like forced to have a diverse person because they got this money from the government or something.
Yeah. I think this is another topic that like deserves a lot of conversations, much more than it is, but I guess the whole point of me bringing any of that stuff up about like how people talk or whatever, what I've heard, is to say that this is not a new idea. He doesn't even present it in a very exciting or interesting way. It's sort of like just the lowest hanging fruit to make it like sort of clickbaity, but I don't even think it's accurate from what he's saying. So I think there's something to be discussed here about like, are we actually diverse in media, and how can we get to be more diverse in media? But he almost takes like the easiest possible, most boring route just to be semi-interesting, and it's like disappointing. I'm like, you're not even actually saying anything different than anyone else.
Yeah.
In that one specifically.
And I just don't want to think this was 13 years ago. I just don't think that was the case. Maybe there was like one person who was diverse.
Yeah. And they're like, oh,
that's the person
world
he saw.
is ending.
And suddenly he's like, oh my God, I want to write all about it. It's like everyone is like a black Muslim lesbian. Like, Jesus. It's just so...
I think...
So and can I just say, like, even if everyone was like that, like, what is the issue? Why do you feel like it cannot be? It cannot be that they are black Muslim lesbians. Like, why? Yeah. Why shouldn't there be black lesbian Muslims? Why shouldn't the percentage be skewed in their favor? Why does it always need to be skewed in the favor of white men? Like, I just don't understand. It's starting to get really annoying. Like,
I agree. And this one to me almost reads like he's talking to the media executives less than the public. And I think that's where I'm sort of getting caught up in it. Because it's like the problem is that TV executives have got it into their heads. And I think there is some truth to that, where it's like TV executives will say, oh, we need to, diversify, but they don't. So it's all bullshit. It's just these like bullshit like talking points that they say that they're working on initiatives, like you're saying, like, oh, we have a diversity initiative, and in reality it's 6 people in entry-level positions, and they go, we can wipe our hands clean of being accused of not diversifying our programs. And so if he's saying that TV executives talk this big game, but then in reality the top shows are mine, who has 3 white men as the head of it, then what are you actually doing? Now, there's arguments for that, and I can support that, but I think it gets lost in the whole message of black Muslim lesbian. It's just like, I don't know. I guess the nuance is lost with that, and it's sort of a letdown because I think when
No,
TV...
I don't think he was arguing in favor of diversity.
I know, but I think as someone could take that and
way too much credit. No, I don't think that was the point. I think the point was the opposite here.
Yes.
But I just think the conversation of let's have more diverse people like in front of the camera, let's have more diverse people in positions that have more power is very recent. Like
agreed.
Maybe like 2 years recent in my experience in the meetings that I've been in. Maybe like 2-3 years ago is that we started to be like, oh, we need to come up with more ideas that have people of color on like as talent in front of the camera.
Yeah, I can. That makes sense. And this is 2009, so maybe it got developed over time. Okay.
Thanks to him.
Thanks only to Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Yeah, he single-handedly brought the conversation to the forefront. Okay.
Exactly.
Burqa. On distractions when driving, he said, honestly, the burqa doesn't work. I was in a cab in Piccadilly the other day when a woman in a full burqa crossing the road in front of me tripped over the pavement, went head over heels, and up it came, red cheese string and stockings. Okay, what does that mean?
I'm not quite sure.
This is like grandpa makes an off-color joke at, your family gathering, and you're like, okay. Whatever.
This gives Jordan Peterson like commenting on sports magazine cover, like, this is not beautiful. Like, what?
Like, I don't even know what you're trying to say here. Like, okay, the burqa doesn't work. Okay. Whatever. Okay, moving on. Special needs jibe. On the Ferrari 430 Special, it was a bit wrong, that smiling front end. It looked like a simpleton. Okay. Honestly, I hate to like downplay this, but this seems to be like a British version of offensive. Like, this is offensive, but like I've been on the internet too long now that this is coming off as like a gentle, like, not even that it's gentle, but it's like he's not even nearing the top of controversy when it comes to these comments at all. I'm like looking for like the bomb, and I haven't found it yet.
Okay.
Like, again, like, here, talk to Trump for 2 seconds, and he has already said 20,000 things worse than any of this.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. I can't really argue against that.
Yeah, he's telling, I don't know, I can't even think of a recent Trump thing, but, I mean, he's calling, like, people fat pigs, and, that woman is disgusting, and I'm gonna grab her in the pussy, like...
I mean, I don't know how you... I was like, I feel like we should...
Oh, I missed it.
We should... Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, like, I feel like we should probably just take those 4 years out of history and just pretend like they never happened, and just go like, what the hell, what did we do? Why did we have this guy as president? Never mind. Let's just never do this again. Let's forget this was a thing.
I've become so desensitized to any like insults that are, because I used to get like, oh my god, he said that. Oh my god, he said that. Oh my god, he said, and now I'm like, he said that. He said an entire race of people is something. Okay. Next day.
Yeah, talking about an entire race of people, he has a big comment about Mexican people just above that.
Oh, okay, let's see. Let's see what I have to say about Mexican people. Okay, this is in 2011, so we're moving up in time. Richard Hammond joked that Mexican cars reflected national characteristics, saying they were, quote, just going to be lazy, feckless, flatulent, overweight, leaning against a fence, asleep, looking at a cactus with a blanket and a hole in the middle on as a coat. May describe Mexican food as like sick with cheese on it. Okay, sorry to insult the entire English, British culture. Your food compared to Mexican food, I'm sorry. Have you ever had, what's the fucking thing called? Maybe that's Scottish. Haggis? No. Do not insult tacos.
Oh, hey.
And
hey. Haggis is like the best thing that exists in Britain. Like, if you're gonna insult the food, insult everything else. Like,
Yeah.
haggis is good.
You guys put beans, baked beans, on a slice of white bread and call it culinary cuisine. Do not insult the Mexican culture where they have created tacos, quesadillas. I don't know. Probably.
I would agree though. Like, I don't know
Tostadas.
how British man is. It's like he should just be grateful that Mexican food exists. And shut the hell up, because like British food is so tasteless sometimes.
Oh, we have fish and potatoes. We fried a fish and had potatoes. Okay. But they have cilantro. All right?
It's like, it's all very, very fried. Like, you have to put it in a lot of oil. It's like so much oil. You know. Yeah.
It's not even a good, again, these aren't even good arguments. They're not even funny. They're not even laced with any sort of like reality whatsoever. I don't know.
No, I don't think he was trying to be funny.
And also, just think about like the stereotype that Mexicans are lazy. I don't know where that has come from at all. And in America, it's like, oh, Mexicans are lazy. And then at the next breath, they're like, Mexicans are taking over our jobs and working 24 hours a day to make us obsolete. It's like, are they lazy or are they overworking to the point of taking away your job? It makes no sense. There's no rational thought when it comes to these stereotypes. It's so stupid.
Yeah, that's a typical immigrant rhetoric. Like, oh my God, they're taking over our jobs. Oh my God, they're here for the... Yeah, it's like if you have the benefits, you are not working. So either take those jobs or you're taking the benefits. Like, you can't both take their jobs.
Right? Exactly. I don't understand that argument. It's like, oh, they're so lazy. All they do is Mexicans are so lazy. All they do is travel for 30 days straight in these conditions and cross the border and, you know, are aggressively trying to get over to make a better life for themselves. They're just so lazy. It's like, it looks like they took a lot of effort to get here. So is it that they're lazy, or is it that they're going to come no matter what because they're determined for a better life? It's just, they're talking about the same group of people. It's like so confusing as a American. Like, okay, I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah.
Besides the point.
Yeah, and also, like, if there wasn't any Chinese, Indian, Mexican, and other cuisines in Britain, I don't know what we would do. Like, if there were, like, British food is so heavy and so, you don't just eat British food.
You be eating stew.
Unless you go to, like, a fancy restaurant. Like, yeah.
You'd be eating stew every night.
Most times you eat, like, other cuisines. I don't know why, like, this is beyond offensive. It's like, if Mexican food was to go away from Britain, like, we would be fucked.
Yeah, it's like saying, like, oh, you ever hear those Italians? Those Italian meals are just like sickness on a piece of bread. It's like, you're talking about pizza? Do you mean pizza is not delicious and the best thing that's ever happened to this place? Give me a break.
Yeah, please just
Jeremy.
from discussing food.
Jeremy, who's lazy here? You know what you do for your job? You drive around in a Ferrari for television cameras. Oh, that's such a hard job to do. What a lazy piece of shit. I don't know.
I mean, points.
Let's just insult him back. That's the best way to move forward with this. This is never going to change. You know, people like this are always going to, if you gather enough attention, you'll always have, I think, some sort of monetary audience to prop you up on your beliefs. So we got to hit them back with the other side of an insult.
Agreed. And I'm happy to do this, especially with Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah, Jeremy, you can't drive. You don't know how to drive. You ride the clutch way too hard, Jeremy. Get a better teacher to drive you around. Top gear, more like bottom gear, am I right? Okay. I'm sorry, okay. Top gear, more like bottom tier. That's good.
I think that's so good.
All right. Thank you. Okay. Do you want to go back to Meghan? I'm sick of Jeremy. His insults are lame. Lame as hell.
Do you also want to look at how he insulted Indian people, or are we done with?
No, we're done.
Okay.
It's probably so bad. It's probably
We're
like,
done.
oh,
Okay.
yeah. I want to make it up. I think he probably would say.
So, moving on from that, as it turns out, just before this article came out about Meghan that Jeremy posted on The Sun, he had been in a lunch with Queen Camilla and Piers Morgan.
That's you, isn't it? Or no, you're Queen Camellia.
Yeah, Queen Camilla.
Okay, wait.
I'm Queen Cam.
Queen Cam. This is the one?
Oh, side
Yes.
note, every time I say this, like, people would ask me, like, what's my name? And I say Cam. Like, Cam? Like, yeah, Cam. Like, what? Every time people would have to double check. Like, Cam is not hard to comprehend, is it? Like,
Cam? Did you say ham?
did you say?
Is your name
like,
ham and
Andrew?
cheese? Yeah. I do that though. I think it's like for me, it's like a nervousness thing. Like they'll be like, what's your name? Christopher? It's like, I don't, like, just to confirm that I did not completely, like, somehow you said Christopher, or you said Michael, and then I didn't pay attention close enough in that 1 millisecond, and you said Christopher, and I'm like, Christopher? Just to check.
I don't think that's what it is, though. I feel like, because it's not that they're double checking that they might have the wrong name. I just think they're surprised or something.
Like, I've never heard it
It's like,
before.
oh, wow, that's a very exotic name. Or maybe they're thinking it's not exotic enough. Oh,
Like
because I
Cam?
get that I'm exotic. I'm being told
Ah.
I'm getting exotic a lot. So
I
maybe
thought
like,
your name
I
was-
did not expect a name so bland.
I thought your name was Esmeralda Rubicon or something, Oh, Cam? Interesting. Very simple of you.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's just like, whoa, okay.
Oh, no.
Sorry. Your hair looks like you're exotic. What do you mean your name is Cam?
Boring.
That can't be correct. Like, where did you go to high school again?
Yeah. Where's your outfit from? Cam? Tell us more. Yeah, they can't determine
One
your
thing I-
class from your name.
One thing I would say, like, there's no conversations about outfits in Britain because there is no. It's so
Fashion.
cold. At least where I am, it's so cold that you can't be wearing nice things. Like, you're wearing black jackets, black jeans, black boots. Like, there's no.
There's
style,
no
per se,
individuality.
if you will.
Okay. That's good. I'm moving there. That's what I need.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. The pressure to
I
wear
get away
clothes.
with wearing one pair of jeans for like an entire semester.
Yes, that would be nice. Just no one look at my outfit ever again. That's my dream. Who is Shallon
Yeah.
Lester?
So this article is about Camilla's lunch. What?
Someone said,
Where
check
did you-
out Shallon
Where
Lester
did you see that?
in the comment.
Shallon Lister, D'Angelo made a series of videos about Shallon Lister a long time ago. She's like someone who, pretty much, I guess at this point, I feel like we are like Shallon Lister. We talk about celebrity and influencers.
She was like a commentary channel or something?
Yeah, but more like someone who is very much like, I don't like Selena Gomez. Like, it's, very, yeah. You don't know who Chavez is? Oh.
I remember watching.
Has been a name.
I remember the name from D'Angelo Wallace. I remember there being something. Didn't she have like a thing with a? I shouldn't say it if it's not true. Wasn't there like a relationship thing or something? Or was that not her? Why was he canceling her?
Because she had threatened him with a lawsuit or something. I don't remember exactly the details, but it was a lot.
Okay.
It was a lot.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. We can maybe look at that if we have time. What time is it? 1:30? Okay. We'll see how much we get through.
Let's look at it, because this article is not really much except for the fact that the media had discovered that Queen Camilla had the lunch with Jeremy Clarkson and Piers Morgan 2 days before this article.
Dun dun dun. Of course. So Piers Morgan's got a pissy attitude.
Yeah, but people are thinking that this is the reason why this article was then published, because they essentially, Queen Camilla might have given him the green light or something.
Okay. Why'd you do that, Cam? Why'd you give him the green light?
Queen Camilla, exactly what the fuck did you do?
Yeah. Okay, which one is this? She's got 3 of them about Meghan and Harry. One has got the most views one.
Let's watch. I don't know. Let's watch either of them.
Okay, let's see.
Very special episode today. An episode directed to 2 specific people.
Oops, hold on.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Now, Shalyn, you might be saying, come on, you've done a lot of episodes about them. Yeah, I've done a lot of episodes about them. I've never done an episode for them and to them. But you know what? That's where we differ. Because they did decide to include me in their new Netflix documentary. Their Netflix documentary that has a seemingly unlimited number of episodes. We're on episode 6 right now? Ken Burns, the storied documentarian, only had to do 10 parts to cover the Vietnam War. And these assholes, we're going to be on episode 87.25. It's never going to end, but I digress.
Boo!
So if you're a Netflix subscriber, go ahead and watch episode 5 of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Festival of Bullshit and fast forward to about the 29-minute mark. But you know what? You don't even have to, because I'm going to play it for you here. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to go through every sentence in my segment, line by line, and we're going to trot out a weapon that no one involved with this documentary has ever seen before. Not the Netflix producers, not this person who runs some horseshit company called Bot Sentinel, and certainly not Meghan or Harry. Do you know what that weapon is? Logic.
Oh.
That is the big, bad monster nuclear weapon of mass destruction we will trot out. Because that's actually the only weapon anyone really needs to counteract anything Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have to say.
Get to the point, Shalon.
Okay, let's get into it. First, I want to say that no one from Netflix, Bot Sentinel, Harry, or Meghan ever reached out to me for comment, ever reached out to me or to YouTube for permission, per my managers. And, why would they reach out to people who can speak and argue for a living to get a comment? That's not how I'd play it. I'd avoid people like me at all costs. But you know what, Meghan? You want to dance?
The logic is too much.
So
I can't handle it.
Audio. Because I can't splice in the visuals. It's copyright, blah, 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 blah. But the visual, it's all very grave. It's all just the serious music and the gravity of this gravity. Remember, only 10 parts to cover the Vietnam War for Ken Burns. Only 10. Huge war. Much war.
Can I make a comment unrelated to all of this? I really find that people only will openly hate people when there's other people who hate them too openly, like Piers Morgan, this Jeremy guy, and now her. If people universally loved Meghan, she would not be making these videos, probably. It's only the way she only feels comfortable, and this is me projecting, to hate her and Meghan and Harry because other people do. Because whenever other people made, like, if I was to make a video about someone I think is like universally loved, and I'm like, here's some things I don't like about her, it wouldn't do as well. It only does well when other people can openly hate them. It's so annoying.
Yes, but I think that you would be surprised. She hates pretty much everyone. So she kind of, I think she has built an audience of people who will just trash anyone and anything. I think you're muted.
She's got a lot of subs, and this video got 100,000 views, so somebody likes her somewhere. She's not canceled.
Yeah, but like she's not like politically correct. She does not care. Like she just hates
Just says
everyone
whatever.
pretty much. Like,
Okay, cool.
These people, it just goes on and on and on. So I happened to look at the episode synopsis for the one I appear in. After private correspondences with their family are leaked, the couple make a crucial decision, and ensuing online campaigns turn chilling. They turn chilling. I'm part of that chill. I am the great chiller, okay? So let's see what they had to say about me.
Yay!
Harry, maybe you could help humanize this for us. Just a month ago, a report by Bot Sentinel, a company that analyzes tweets, found that a very small number of anti-Meghan and Harry accounts were responsible for a huge percentage of the hateful content about you on Twitter.
Misinformation is a global humanitarian crisis.
Let's just start there. Misinformation is a global humanitarian crisis. I don't think until now I've realized how bad.
Terrible accent.
What? How dare she make fun of the class of English speakers that she's making fun of? The royal family class.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my personal gripe. Thank you.
Bad and weird his voice is. You just like want to turn it up. You want to like click the bass boost. It's like, are you really there? What's inside? Are you okay? You're like a Build-A-Bear that's come to life. It's a global humanitarian crisis.
Right away.
Let me tell you about some other global humanitarian crises. Water, women's rights, climate change, access to food, drugs, refugees.
Yeah, and she talks about all of these.
You've made 3 videos about the royal family in the last week, you... the hypocrite.
She's been making videos about Meghan for a very long time.
I hate when people do that. It's like, it just at least admit that, like, this is not that big of an issue, but also, you know, I'm not one to talk about it either, because look at my content. It's like, you're just saying, you're accusing them of the same thing you do as well.
Yeah, no, you didn't actually expect logic here, did you?
No. I was promised logic.
I know. It's like Shannon Lester logic. It's a whole other, like, you know, type of logic. It's a subset, and it's not logical.
Okay, got it.
Wars. Did I mention water? But no. Harry also wants to include in that list misinformation. About who? Oh, just so happens to be about him. Okay, so Harry and his struggles are part of the overall humanitarian crises going on in the world, such as poverty and war and hunger, and mental health, and regular health, and tweets.
Regular health.
Okay. Sure, Harry. Yeah, you know what? Let's just keep going.
Personally, over the years, we know that a small group of accounts are allowed to create a huge amount of chaos online and without any consequence whatsoever.
A small group of people are allowed to create chaos online without consequences. My God, what if the whole world worked on a system where power was concentrated amongst a smaller group of people? What if there were teams where people played sports, but only a certain number of those people became professionals at it? What if people who lived in a town, they all lived in the town, but only a certain number of those people who lived in the town served on a city council? Or if you got bigger, what if only a certain number of people served in a Congress? What if only a certain number of people got to be in movies? It would be anarchy.
Girl, get to the point. What are you talking about?
There's no point, Kayla.
Does this seem like a good idea now, Harry?
You're watching the point. This is it.
She's
just so important. She's very important because she was flashed on the screen for like 1 second.
She's helping the humanitarian crisis by putting "help homeless kids" with 2 baby emojis in her bio. She's fixing the humanitarian crisis. Wow. Good job. $10 to save a dog. What is this? This woman's weird.
Yeah, I can't stand like the dramatics and I can't.
That's why I keep every time this is the whole reason why I've avoided Meghan and Harry content, because I watch it to go, okay, the title says the reason why Meghan is an evil monster, and then I watch the video and it's like, did you know that there's famines? It's like, what has she done? I still don't know what she's done. What has Harry done? I don't know. They just like say like all these things that are like, there's bigger problems than Harry and Meghan. It's like, yeah, but you're creating the content, so tell me why I should care. And not one time have I heard why I should give a shit.
Yeah, and like, do you see the title? Accuses Shannon Lester of QAnon conspiracy.
Where is that? I want to hear that part. That's the part where I'm interested. But like,
I mean, you'd be surprised to know, but there's a thing called clickbait.
Yeah.
and people do this, and you keep watching and watching until the end, and it turns out oh my god, it's so bad though. Like sometimes it's like so bad. I can't. Like there's certain channels I only watch if I absolutely must, just because I know for a fact they're.
Yeah, this seems very much like clickbait. Like, did you know that not everyone has clean drinking water? It's like, yeah, I did know that. Can you talk about the QAnon conspiracy theory that you promised me in the thumbnail and title of this video? I have a very low tolerance for like sitting and like going through like, hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's me. Da da da. I'm like, get to it already. Sorry. So yeah, I don't know if we should continue watching.
I feel attacked. I have like a segment that is like a minute and a half in each video like that.
I have yours memorized by now. It's like, hello, what's up everybody? It's Kim. Thank you. This video is sponsored by my patrons over on Patreon. If you want to sponsor me on Patreon, I talk about all my personal life over there. And now, let's get to the video. I watch yours because I'm like,
and everything.
How's it going, guys? It's Cam. Over on my Patreon. Yeah. It's okay.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
Thank you to something for buying me a coffee.
Oh, that was back in the day, yeah.
Oh, but it's good. It's like got character. It makes you who you are. You know, everyone's got their style. But you don't clickbait.
Shannon Lester.
Yeah, Shannon Lester's. She didn't even have an intro. She just went into talking about nothing related to anything. Anyways.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway, she's annoying. I don't know. Like, I feel like the gist of the cancellation of Shannon Lester was she's an annoying person, and I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's someone who doesn't waste my time, is D'Angelo Wallace. That's a creator I like a lot. I trust him when I see his videos. And guess what? He stopped making videos, probably because he was frustrated by other people who don't not waste people's time, get hundreds of thousands of subs.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't think he's posted in a while. Wallace. Anyways, sorry. Okay. Where else should we go? Or we can not go, too. Forward.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
You're asking me to do Kia. I don't know what to do. Like click, click, click. Okay,
click.
Here's what I have for you, you guys. Click.
I can do my own.
Mango frequency.
Hey guys, I'm no longer covering Rachel Hollis. The next video. Hey guys, it's me talking about Rachel Hollis once again. That's me.
Yeah. Hey guys, so Dr. Amen has a new podcast. And what's her name? Clara is still alive.
Chronically Raw, yeah. Chronically Raw is still alive. She's still here with us. She's still making content. Rachel's still on her podcast. Literally, basically every opening of my show or whatever, of any video, is like, nothing I have done, none of my work has made any difference. Let's continue. Man.
That's funny. Yeah.
Well, at least you know I watch your videos.
Yeah, you do.
I've
You
proven.
do. I watch yours too.
Aw,
sometimes.
thank you. Sometimes. When I'm desperate for content. I don't blame you. It's
Well,
okay.
I mean, it's just that rah and so I'm not quite my.
Your taste.
I can't watch content about people who are sick. Like I can't.
You should watch it then. You'll love it because they're really not.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
They may be
no,
sick.
but I try to be like. It's just that sometimes like I feel like time zones and stuff. Like I can't catch the live, and I
sure.
You know, I try.
It's
Watch
okay.
the replays. I watch the highlights channel a lot. So
Yeah, I have highlights coming out. I have them scheduled for the rest of the week, so that's good. So if you want to catch up on any of the sick talk people, you have the chance. The best one, honestly, the most interesting one that I talked about last week was this woman that used to be a writer for Grey's Anatomy, the show. She lied about having like this rare cancer for like 10 years and wrote episodes about it. And of course was like the hero of the whole story. And she came up with these other lies too, like the Pittsburgh mass shooting at the synagogue. She's like, I was there and I had to clean off the blood of my friend, and it was all bullshit. And she's like semi-famous. Like she was like
that's not Shonda Rhimes though.
No, but she was texting with Shonda Rhimes, like that high up in the whole thing.
I mean, yeah. If
So-
she was part of the writers team, yeah.
So she got caught. Well, she came clean on her own, but it turns out it's all garbage. So that was interesting. Made me like that one.
I hate that because I love Grey's Anatomy.
Excuse me. Yeah. Yeah. Well, any episode about.
She's just like hiccup and goes. That's so funny.
Yeah, I had it like clicked on the wrong way. This is much harder to do this tech side on a laptop, I will say. There is a technical element involved in all this.
Yeah. So, should we continue with this because there's more vitriol towards Meghan?
Yes.
If we want to see the Piers Morgan vitriol, basically, is the next topic of today's video. So in case you didn't have enough of a old white man's hatred towards Meghan, we have another one. So, you know.
Piers. He likes her. He has a crush on her. And just
that's what I think.
Not interested.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because that's how men react to rejection.
Yeah.
They just start to hate you.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they go from love to hate very quick.
Isn't love and hate the same coin, just different sides, you know?
Yeah. Like, is that a white man who came up with it?
When you just don't care, that's when you really don't care about somebody. But when you hate somebody,
you love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
I don't know if I love the people I hate on YouTube, but...
True. But maybe you do, deep down.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, some of them I did love once upon a time.
Betrayal. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. If you didn't know, this is Piers Morgan. Man yelling at telephone. And this is Meghan Markle, the princess or something. I don't even know what her title is anymore. But Piers Morgan claims Meghan Markle ghosted him after they met up for platonic drinks in 2016. Well, I would probably too. He went from writing that she's got beauty and brains to being one of her most vocal critics. See how they first met over Twitter and their one-sided fallout in Insider's full timeline. Okay. All right. Fall 2015. Piers follows a few actors from Suits on Twitter, and Meghan Markle follows him back.
That was her mistake.
Yeah. Never
do
do
not
that.
hit that follow button. Never.
No. Don't do that. Okay, so Piers Morgan started watching Suits, and then...
You can just read the top part, because I think this is
Okay.
just going into details and stuff.
Okay. Then in 2015, Morgan shares an article Markle wrote about her personal experiences with racism as a biracial woman and called it brilliant. Ah. Wow.
Yeah, no, he really liked her. That's the thing.
Wow. Okay. Then fall 2015 through 2016, Morgan tweets about Suits and says Markle sent him screener episodes. What a lucky chap. How cool.
He was so happy to get attention. Like,
he loves her.
Oh my god.
June 2016, Morgan tags Markle in a tweet saying, "It was great to finally meet her." Puts like the little emoji. Okay. July 2016, Markle and Prince Harry begin privately seeing each other after they were set up on a blind date. Okay. Then, October 2016, news breaks that Prince Harry and Markle have been dating for a few months. Okay. Okay, can I make a personal story here?
Yes.
I was in the same room as Prince Harry back in 2016 during that time period before they had announced that they were dating. Now, it turns out they were already dating, but I saw him. Oh, I knew he was going to be there because it was the Invictus Games, the thing that he runs for, like, it's basically people who have been in some sort of military service and they do, like, athletic competitions. Anyways, so it was like a volleyball game, and I was in there, and then I saw Harry come across. He had a whole entourage, but he was coming across, and in my mind I was like, if I could just, you know,
seduce him.
Catch his eye.
No.
But you know, it's like, this is the close the best chance I'm ever gonna get. And like, you know, I'm just sitting there, but I'm like, somehow, like, I could just be like, you know, it's like one of those, like, what do they call it, like, Wattpad books, where it's like, I'm just, like, reading a book, and then he looks over, like, oh, that girl's so interesting. She's, like, not even paying attention to the volleyball game. And then he'd come over and be like, hey, what's your name?
Just, like, stare at him the whole time.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that was...
Imagine when he did look, and he saw you staring the whole time, like...
He's like, no, not again. Yeah, so unfortunately it didn't work out for me, but, you know, I guess he was already dating Meghan. That's why he was, you know, holding himself back from coming across the stadium.
Is that why you hate Meghan?
Yeah, that's why I hate Meghan Markle. That bitch. She took my chance. Yeah. But I was, you know, probably a volleyball court away length from Harry in 2016, so.
That's fun.
Who's the real star of this story? Me.
Okay. You and Shalyn Lester should go on a podcast.
Shalyn, let me tell you the tea. I got the best story ever, but first, 20 minutes of talking about nothing about it. Then it turns out that was the story. I'll title it, "The Time Prince Harry and I Almost Kissed." But it's a lie. Okay, anyways, that was my personal anecdote.
Sorry, I just like muted at the wrong time. I did not mean to unmute when I was doing that to my voice. Sorry.
That's okay. No problem. I'm sorry. Just kidding. I'm sorry.
Sorry, guys. Turn your volume down all the way.
I'm sorry. This is the show on the road. It's a little bit more relaxed. Okay. Okay, then November 2016, Morgan tags Markle in a tweet asking about the next This guy just loves Suits. Who cares about Suits?
Also, she's probably the most beautiful woman that ever looked in his direction.
True.
Like, literally just looked, nothing else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Just looked and was like, thanks, Piers.
oh my God, this is the love of my life.
I love her so much. Okay, then November 8th, 2016, Prince Harry releases a statement via Kensington Palace confirming his relationship with Markle while calling out the wave of abuse and harassment directed at her. Okay, and then November 2016, Morgan publishes a Daily Mail column detailing everything he and Markle talked about when they met earlier that year. What a loser. Come on, man. No
So,
wonder she
I
doesn't
just-
like you.
I went out for a pint with her. Oh my God, like, tell you the tea. It was
Yeah.
90 minutes on the dot.
Like, did she approve of this or what? Like, I think that's shady to like I went out with someone and now I'm gonna write an article about it. How lame.
It's very name droppy, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, completely. He just seems bitter. Okay, back in May 2017, Morgan tweets saying that his sole interest in Pippa Middleton's wedding was what Meghan Markle was going to wear. Damn, this makes him look like so weird.
right?
Then November 2017, Prince Harry and Markle announced their engagement, and Morgan says his friend will make the perfect modern bride. He also tagged Markle and asked if he'll be invited to the wedding. No, sir.
Yeah.
No, you won't be. Then lots of stuff happened in November 2017. Morgan pens a Daily Mail column headline, "Hearty congratulations, Harry. You picked a real keeper, even if your romance did destroy my beautiful friendship with the amazing Meghan Markle." Oh my God.
God. This is so lame.
This
So
is-
lame.
No, he's embarrassed, and I understand why. It makes a lot of sense. Okay, January 2018, Markle deletes her Instagram and Twitter accounts. And then May 19, 2018, Prince Harry and Markle tie the knot at Windsor Castle. Piers Morgan is not among the invited guests. Yeah. No kidding.
And that's where he turned a corner.
Yep. Uh-oh. Oh, not yet. He's still trying. He's like, maybe I'll be invited to the after party. May 21st, 2018, Morgan pens a Daily Mail column addressed Dear Meghan and accuses her of scripting the perfect day for her wedding and turning in an Oscar-winning performance.
Like, what is the performance? Like, you love me the whole time, but you pretended very well to love Harry for your wedding? Like, what exactly is the performance?
Yeah, the whole column was written as if it was a letter to Markle herself. What? Okay, this guy is unhinged. Then...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 2018, September, Morgan appears on the Late Late Show and retells his story about meeting Markle. The one time they grab a drink together has become several years of content for this dude.
Like, seriously, imagine loving someone that much.
Yeah, it truly is. He is the victim in this story. So it seems. Oh my God. Okay, then 2018, December, Morgan becomes increasingly critical of Markle and interviews her estranged father on Good Morning Britain. Okay.
Yeah, this was not cool. I remember this.
Yeah.
I think it was just not cool. Because they're not talking.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you interviewed my parents? It would be the worst nightmare in the world.
Imagine me being like, I used to be friends with Kayla.
But now, here's her mother to tell you all the tea.
So Kayla called you so many names. Like, what do you have to say about that?
She was born evil. That's what my mom would say. Okay, December 20...
She's a demon.
She's a demon, and she doesn't like anybody but herself. It's like, okay, thanks, Mom.
I mean, I relate to that.
Yeah, it's like, sorry. Guess who raised me? Guess who had a chance to change that? You.
You're like, guess who educated?
Yeah. Guess who I lived with and was influenced by the most? You.
Your mother is the OG influencer.
Literally, she is my influencer. And look how I turned out. Horrible. Okay. Sorry, back to it. December 2018, Morgan writes a new column with the headline, Meghan Markle is a ruthless social climbing actress who has landed the role of her life and is determined to milk it for all she can. Okay, I guess he's upset. And then, oh my god. January 2019, Markle privately tells Prince Harry she was experiencing suicidal ideations. Okay. And then February 2019, Morgan tells the Mirror that Markle told other members of Suits to stop talking to me. Okay. January 2020, Markle and Prince Harry announced they are stepping down as senior members of the royal family. And then January 2020, Morgan says Markle is a selfish social climber who plays a despicable race card. Okay, so get a new word, Piers. We get it. God. Oh no.
Get a new word.
It's just a story repeater. Like, I think at the end of this is like, I'm okay with criticism of other people, but if you make it bad and boring criticism, I'm going to criticize that. It's like, at least make it interesting or relevant. Not like, don't half-ass your criticisms here. Yeah. Morgan also posts a screenshot of the first time Markle messaged him on Twitter saying, she's probably not such a big fan of mine now. Yeah, no, probably not. February, Morgan seems to allude to Markle's ghosting of him in a tweet about her old tricks. You met one time, bro. What is your problem? March 7, 2021, Markle and Prince Harry's interview with Oprah Winfrey airs. In the interview, Markle says she was told not to engage with the press once she was brought into the royal family fold. Okay, that sounds right. March 2021, Morgan accuses Markle of lying about her mental health. Look at this poor woman. She's like, oh no, not again.
I think that he was fired over this, no?
I think so. He was, yeah. He walked off and then he never returned.
They were like, that's good. No, I don't want you here anymore.
Like, it's fine. Oh yeah. March, so Morgan's fellow Good Morning Britain host calls him out for trashing Markle and holding a grudge against her for their personal fallout. And he, instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to stick up for myself, he storms off like the true mature man he seems to be.
Yeah.
Then March 9th, 2021, Morgan quits Good Morning Britain after the show receives 41,000 complaints, including a direct one from Markle, reportedly. Okay. Then Morgan maintains he still doesn't believe Markle, with reports saying he refused to issue an apology to the Duchess of Sussex. Okay. And then Morgan called out Markle and Prince Harry over the premiere of their Netflix docuseries, Harry and Meghan. So this is what he says. Imagine bleeding about privacy and then doing a kiss and tell reality series about your private lives. Then imagine preaching compassion as you trash your family again. Then imagine releasing first trailer deliberately to ruin your brother's big trip to America. Repulsive hypocrites. Okay.
Like, imagine posting a picture kissing a man for me to see. Like, don't you know that it hurts?
Did you forget about our tweet from 2012?
Did you forget that we drank a beer together 7 years ago?
She's like, I have a child with someone else. Yeah, but what about me?
What about a pint?
What about the pint that we shared? Remember that you said that I looked nice? What about that?
Oh my god.
I'm busy, sir. I thought your name was Pierce the whole time, and I didn't want to offend you, so I just never responded ever again to any of your calls because I was embarrassed. Yeah. Or be like, I thought your name was Peter the whole time. Like, I don't care about you at all. Anyways, okay. It's 4:05. I have to go only because we're supposed to meet the family outside in the streets of New York. So I have to wrap up.
Thank you guys for being here.
Yes,
witnessing.
Thank you. We tried. We did it. We showed up as we did
it.
I was gonna say, as Hillary Powell would say. What? As Heidi Powell would say, we showed up and we did the damn thing, as every influencer
This
says.
is the show up summit, so
we're sus. We showed up and we did it.
We are sus.
Yes. Well, thank you. I think I learned something. I'm still confused about what issues Meghan has done, but I think I need to do more research, so.
I'm sure that she has done things wrong too, but I just feel like we can't even be made aware of that because there's just too much that she's being attacked for that, you know what I mean? Like, I can't be paying attention to just her wearing the wrong shoes or something when, like, you know, this guy is writing that she should be naked and be thrown excrements at her. Like,
yeah, I'm like, so what did she do again? Oh, she has a show on Netflix. Like, oh, yeah, that doesn't seem like the punishment fits the crime, in my opinion. But okay.
No, just there's a lot of hatred. I feel like, I don't know, for some reason these men just did they think they had the shot with her or something? Because, like,
they're like, on Suits.
Look in the mirror.
Yeah, they're like, on Suits, she seemed like she was interested in, like, a man like me. It's like, yeah, but I think she was acting.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, she's got an Oscar-winning performance with that wedding. It's like, she is an actress, so.
Well, yeah, so that's kind of a compliment.
Yeah. It's like, she's really.
But yeah.
She's really doing her job here. Like, oh, well, thank you. Appreciate that.
What a bitch. Like, seriously, I can't believe it.
Cancel her through the streets. Yeah, these are the people who talk about cancel culture, right? They're like, oh, cancel culture is horrible. And then in the next breath, they're like, we should parade that woman naked through the streets and scream shame at her. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Piers
what is that called?
Spoke about cancel culture with Andrew Tate.
Great. What is that? What culture is that?
But he's been throwing vitriol of people at Meghan, for example, and many others for a very long time. So I'm not sure exactly on which side of the cancel culture he is.
Yeah, anyone who says anything controversial should remain. But anyone who doesn't go on a date with me when I ask needs to be paraded in the streets. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good.
All
right, everybody.
But thanks, guys, for being here. Merry Christmas.
Yes, happy holidays.
Happy New Year. Yeah. And, you know, happy Hanukkah if you celebrate that. And if you don't celebrate any of these things, just have a good time.
Yep.
So I'll see you in 2023.
Yep. We'll be back and better than ever. We'll be new us.
Back.
New
versions.
versions.
Will slay. We will have. Slay. We had our flop era. We're followed by our slay era. So
it's coming.
Slay 2023.
Slay 2023. Hey. 2020. Yeah, 2020. Hey. Is that close enough to three? I don't know. It rhymes with 3. 2020 me. 2020 me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want anything to do with 2020 though. Like, 2020 needs to fuck itself forever.
2020 you is now 2023. 2020 me. Oh my god. Okay, I'm losing it.
Right. Thanks, guys, for being here. Have a good holiday season. Bye.
Bye. Love and light.